Councilwoman Hayner, Councilman Kitchen, Councilman Secreto, Councilman Van Cleek,
Here.
Supervisor Quigley.
Here. Thank you very much and welcome to the Town of Ulster Town Board Workshop for Thursday, August 3rd. We have two public hearings, one at 7:10 and one at 7:20. And we have a few items on our agenda along with committee reports. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda? I have one discussion point to add to the agenda. It's relation to the senior picnic. With that, in reference to the agenda, is there anyone here tonight in the public who would like to discuss items that are on the agenda outside of the public hearing items? Seeing none, thank you very much. Communications, Ms. Reevy? Okay, committee reports, finance.
Finance Committee continues and had been continuing to do the abstracts on a monthly basis, but now with our comptroller, we're starting to transition to a new format and be working through her with her. We are looking at all aspects of the finance, including accounts payable, cash receipts, purchase orders, and the voucher system. The comptroller has already gone through meetings with some of the department heads and will continue. We have continued to do the abstracts with her until the new process is underway. And every dollar, nickel, and penny has been accounted for.
And half cent
Nope. We don't go that far.
personnel.
Just that we've been meeting with different departments, going over their practices and their employees, see if there's any problems. But besides that, there's really nothing going on.
Recreation.
Oh, that's me too. Right now, we have a summer camp going on. We got 3 weeks left. We got 60 kids down there right now enjoying themselves. I had a mom and dad's here right now. We're setting up an end of the year picnic for the kids and the counselors right now. Senior picnic, August 25th. It's free to Town of Ulster residents, $11 for a non-resident. August 25th at Robert Post Park. Coffee and donuts at 10 o'clock, courtesy of Van Cleek's Tire. We have the best coffee in town, I heard. Lunch at noon, which comes from Joe B's, he usually does our picnic for us, followed by bingo. And as of right now, we have 130 seniors that will attend. Last year, we had 170. And I'm sure at the last second that that number will be eclipsed. One other thing, before we know it, school will be in session and bitty basketball signups will be starting. All the parks, mini parks, Post and Ryder, they're looking good. And I have to thank Frankie Petromal and the Highway Department. His summer crew does a real good job going around cleaning things up, weed whacking, cutting the grass. And that's it for rec.
Building committee.
We had a little bit of construction to make sure that our new comptroller had her own private office and the offices are being painted and everything else is well underway.
Very good. Thank you very much. On to new business. The first item at the prior meeting, the town supervisor distributed to the town board members an out-of-district sewer user agreement by and between the town of Ulster, Washington Avenue Sewer District and Moonburger for connection of the Moonburger Restaurant to the Washington Avenue Sewer District. Originally, when the sewer district was constructed, the resident felt that she did not need a sewer system. She was an elderly woman. So the property was left out of the district and connections were not made. So tonight I would like to a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the out-of-district sewer user agreement by and between the town of Ulster, Washington Avenue Sewer District and Moonrise 1.0 LLC Moonburger for sewer service to 5 Powell Lane. May I have a motion? Do I have any discussion on the motion? Please call the vote.
Councilwoman Hayner. Councilman Kitchen, Councilman Secreto, Councilman Van Cleek, Supervisor Quigley.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you very much. In the 2022 legislative session, the New York State Legislature crafted a piece of legislation that would revise and expand the mandated sexual harassment prevention policy for entities operating within New York State. This policy was distributed to the town board and posted to the town's website, I believe in the June meeting. Tonight, the town board is being presented with a resolution adopting the updated sexual harassment policy that covers newly implemented guidance from New York State. May I have a motion to accept the resolution as presented? Any discussion? Ms. Reedy,
Councilwoman
please
Hayner.
call the vote.
Councilman Kitchen, Councilman Secreto, Councilman Van Cleek, Supervisor Quigley.
Yes. Thank you very much. Nineteen 67, the Myron Companies moved out of downtown Kingston and constructed their lumber yard in Lake Katrine on Route 9W. And they added a ton of blacktop, which is impervious surface for floodwaters, for rainfall, which flowed into a stream that went under the CSX railroad tracks. And over the years, we've been dealing with the situation on the west side of the railroad tracks and the erosion that was created by the ebb and flow of the waters from torrential summertime rains. Due to the construction of the Central Hudson Primary Control Center and other improvements, we were able to construct a storm water district whereby the district would go and take and correct the problem on the west side of the tracks, as Central Hudson had already corrected or has corrected as of now, the problems on the east side of the tracks. The town went and appropriated money, designed a corrective action, went out to bid, received a low bid of $150,000 against a $600,000 engineer's estimate, and went to the property owners to commence construction. Lo and behold, the property owner sued Central Hudson. And when the town asked for proper documentation to indemnify the town, it was refused. We are now in a position where 1 year later, after we took bid, contractor is looking to either construct the project or to terminate the contract with the town paying liquidated damages. With that, I will read into the record of a resolution authorizing the town supervisor to negotiation a cancellation of contract number TU 221, stormwater channel improvements for the town of Ulster, Katrine Lane Stormwater Project, dated August 3rd, 2023. Whereas the town of Ulster Town Board previously approved the capital project to correct alleged stormwater and drainage problems in the Katrine Lane area of the town of Ulster. And whereas on August 18th, 2022, the town of Ulster Town Board adopted a resolution to publicly bid the project, contract number TU 221, stormwater channel improvements for the town of Ulster. And whereas by resolution dated November 3rd, 2022, the town of Ulster Town Board awarded the contract to the lowest responsible bidder, Hubble Inc. And whereas one of the property owners where most of the improvements were to have been installed has commenced litigation against Central Hudson and it appears increasingly likely that the town of Ulster will be pleaded as a third-party defendant. And whereas it is not in the best interest of the town of Ulster to be responsible for construction or other improvements on private property where the record owner is engaged in litigation against the town. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Town of Ulster Town Board hereby authorizes Town of Ulster Supervisor to cancel contract TU 221 and negotiate said cancellation so as to protect the rights of the Town of Ulster to the maximum extent possible, practicable and feasible. May I have a motion on the resolution as read?
Second.
Second, any discussion?
Yes, we put a lot of work into resolving this problem and bringing parties together. And this is gonna cost the town a lot of money for nothing now. So do you have an estimate of what that cost is?
We were given an email estimate of about $16,000 several months ago. It may be 16 to 20,
Plus the time we put in last year
plus the time that we have put in
and engineering.
and in the engineering.
All right, just for the record, it just.
I'll have to consult with the town attorney on that question.
No further questions from me.
No question, no other questions? Please call the vote.
Councilwoman Hayner, Councilman Kitchen, Councilman Secreto, Councilman Van Cleek,
Yes,
Supervisor Quigley.
Yes, thank you very much. Moving forward to old business. Resolution for the iPark East Campus redevelopment overlay. In 2011, the Town of Ulster Town Board passed a zoning modification for the IBM East Campus called the Town of Ulster Overlay District, allowing commercial redevelopment on the site. The Town Planning Board has in front of it a proposal for a redevelopment on the East Campus, and the developer has notified us he wishes to take advantage of the overlay district zoning as created in 2011 with some minor modifications, which will require a modification of our zoning code. In order to process that legislative change, we will need to initiate a second seeker action, that is an environmental review of the proposed legislation. The resolution presented here tonight authorizes the town clerk to proceed to notice any interested and involved agencies that this process has been initiated and that the town of Ulster seeks to be the lead agency in the environmental review. So for the record, may I have a motion to accept the resolution for iPark 87 East Campus redevelopment overlay district and site plan, project number P908, Enterprise Drive and Boyce's Lane, section block and lot 48.7-1-29.110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 240, 250, 270, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, and 900 in the office and manufacturing zone. Any discussion?
Councilwoman Hayner, Councilman Kitchen, Councilman Secreto, Councilman Van Cleek, Supervisor Quigley.
Yes, thank you. It is approximately 7:14 past the appointed time for our first public hearing, which was scheduled for 7:10. It is for a special use permit for a cell tower at 434 Flatbush Road, Route 32, Kingston, SBL 39.20-1-29.110. This is adjacent to the Bridgeview Self-Storage Facility on the west side of Route 32, overlooking the Kingston Ulster Airport. I see representatives from Verizon here tonight. Is there anything you would like to address the board and the public before I call this open? Go ahead. You have anybody on that's gonna need a microphone?
No, do you want the microphone?
Well, please, because we're broadcasting, so
Not a problem.
those in the internet world can't hear you.
Okay. Attorney Hyde Clark with law firm Young Summer here on behalf of the applicant Verizon Wireless. As you stated, this is a proposed cell phone tower off Flatbush Road, is a 100-foot tall monopole tower with an extra 4 feet for the lightning rod. The Verizon Wireless equipment is proposed at the top location, which is at about 98 feet. That will include 9 antennas. The fence compound surrounding the tower is 25 foot by 25 foot. The zone is the office manufacturing zone, which permits this application by special use permit by the town board. The applicant has been before the planning board for an initial review prior to coming before this body. This would be the opening of the public hearing. Included in our application, we have 6 tabs. First, the FCC licenses, which permit the applicant to operate in this area. Tab 2, we provide our site plan drawings. Tab 3 is the engineering necessity case, which outlines what the lack of coverage and capacity is in that area. What is the location that we have to look at to have this proposed tower, and overall, why are we coming to propose this new equipment? So it shows the gap in coverage and capacity in that area. Tab 4 is our safety compliance report, which states we're going to be in compliance with FCC regulations. Tab 5 is our full environmental assessment form. It's my understanding that the town board will serve as a lead agency for seeker. So would ask the board to consider making that declaration at this meeting. And then tab 6, importantly, is our site selection analysis. So the first thing we look at is, are there any tall buildings or other towers that we can collate our equipment on? That's the first thing we look for. That was not available in that area. The second thing we look at is whether or not there's municipal property that we could potentially locate on. There's not any available in this area. And then the third being looking at private landowners. And we did provide a specific analysis as to the 10 different properties that we looked at and why those sites did or did not work. The benefit of this proposed site is we're able to go at that 100-foot level as opposed to some of the other sites that would have required a taller tower, just because this works by line of sight due to topography. Some of the other sites would have required a taller tower, so that's why we did go with this site. There is still the outstanding item that we need a decision from the FAA as to whether or not this tower will require a light due to proximity to the airport. Due to the change in recent policy, we were not able to submit that until recently. So we do understand that we will need that prior to this board making a decision, and would be okay with the hearing staying open until that's been submitted. So it's the introduction. I can answer any questions, or we can get to the public comments.
You have a submittal for us?
So we do have, you have full site plans, right?
If you could
Well,
get
just the update,
get the
yeah.
town, I know you have made a submittal to the planning board.
Yep.
But if you could get a submittal to the town supervisor, preferably in electronic format. My email address is on the town's website. That would be appreciated.
Absolutely.
Yes, and before I open the public hearing, I'd like to make one comment. And that is that the East Kingston Fire District has been given a grant for $15,000 by the town of Ulster out of our ARPA allocation to upgrade their mobile computer equipment in the fire trucks. And unfortunately, they've been delayed in the implementation because of the lack of cell service within the fire district. And hopefully this new cell tower, when operational, will correct that issue. So this is in the public interest for public safety to provide additional communications capabilities to the East Kingston Fire District. With that, may I have a motion to open the public hearing? Second? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? If you're here tonight to make a comment about the town issuing a special use permit for the cell tower to be constructed for Verizon, at 434 Flatbush Road. Please come to the podium. Please state your name. And please attempt to keep your comments to 3 minutes or less.
Good evening, Terry Quarantino, 965 Flatbush Road. I am just maybe a quarter to a half a mile south of where this is to be located. And I think it's more like 1100 Flatbush Road than the 434. But anyway, I'm in great favor of this. We have absolutely nil for cell phone service in our area and have for years. So it would be terrific. It would be a great service to the area. Titan Bridge Road has no service. So it would really be terrific for all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Could you come up here? Terry, come here. Now you see where I'm sitting? Turn around. And you see where you were sitting? I couldn't see you raise your hand. So please don't hold that against me. I don't know. I couldn't see where were you sitting. Thank you. Any additional comments on the Verizon cell tower? Mr. Secreto? Ms. Hayner? All those in favor? Aye. For the record, public written comments will be accepted at the town clerk's office for 30 days from tonight, at which point the public hearing will be officially closed and we'll be able to move forward. Thank you. Oh, look at that. 7:22. We are past the 7:20 designated time for the public hearing on local law number blank of 2023. A local law to allow enrolled volunteer firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers to be eligible for a real property tax exemption under real property tax law RPTL 466A. Ms. Bernholtz, could you come forward and just give us a brief explanation as to this law and the benefits that it will bring to the volunteer firemen of the community?
Good evening, I'm Miranda. Basically, this law is going to give a 10% exemption on your taxes for volunteer firefighters that live within the jurisdiction that they cover, that their volunteer departments that they work for cover. It's to help promote volunteer firefighters to join and to help the community because they are so important for everybody else.
Thank you.
So, yep.
With that, I would like a motion to open. All those in favor? Aye. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's public hearing on local law to be designated of 2023, a local law to allow enrolled volunteer firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers to be eligible for a real property tax exemption is hereby open. Are there any members? Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Tom Davis. I'm a member of Ulster Hose Company number 5. I've been a member for 57 years there. I would like
You don't look old enough.
what I would like to recommend that the town board adopt this local law. The state gave us this local law to municipalities so that they could attract and retain good, active firefighters, preventing the municipality from going to a paid department where it would cause excessive budget increases that are not necessarily warranted. Now, my only question is that if the town board adopts this resolution or this local law, is the exemption going to apply to the special districts that the town board has control over?
The town will construct its law to cover all taxes that come from the town of Ulster.
Okay, that answers that question. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would also at this time like to invite the town board and all the town to come to the Ulster Hose 9/11 memorial services on September the 9th at 10 a.m. at the Ulster Hose, 930 Ulster Avenue.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Are there any other individuals here tonight who wish to speak on the topic of the volunteer fireman's exemption? All those in favor? Aye. As with the previous public hearing, public comment will be accepted for 30 days at the town clerk's office, upon which this public hearing shall be declared closed, and we will move forward with the legislative process. Two final items on our agenda tonight. For many years, the town has had a problem in Eddyville with the operations of the Bucks Junkyard. And in 2016, the town of Ulster sued and was awarded a judgment which included a permanent injunction from the operation of a junkyard at the site. Operations appeared to have recommenced in violation of that judicial decree. I am requesting a motion to authorize Town Attorney Jason Kovacs to commence litigation against Don McKenzie Bucks Junkyard for continuing to operate a junkyard in violation of a court decision in favor of the town of Ulster from Judge Richard Mott dated February 16th, 2017. Any discussion? Please call the vote. Yes, thank you. And a final item. As you heard Mr. Secreto in his Recreation Department report talk about the senior picnic that's coming up here. I have a request of the town board that the town board authorizes Joe B's Catering to cater for the price of $11 per person for the senior picnic to be held on 8/25. We are looking for volunteers to assist in the service of the food at that event, and town employees will be down there serving also, including elected leaders. Any discussion? Please call the vote. Yes, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes tonight's scheduled agenda. It is at this point in time that I will open the floor to public comment on any topic or any issue that members of the public wish to address the town board on. Are there any individuals who wish to address the town board here? In the back?
All right, I'd like to say good evening to the town board and Supervisor Quigley. My name's Luke Roget. I own Stars and Stripes Lawn Care and Landscaping. I was here at the meeting 2 weeks ago, and I will had a petition that I had started to get signed to continue to operate my business out of my residence, which was brought to concern to you guys by a couple other neighbors. In front of you, I gave you the petition of over 60 signatures, which is, I'd say probably over 85% of my neighborhood, including my direct neighbor right next to me. And as you can see here tonight, there's multiple people here who are supporting this matter that have no problem with me operating my business out of my residence. So I just wanted to bring to you the attention of that petition that I said I would. And I'd like to ask for the continued support and thank everybody for supporting me here tonight to allow me to continue to do what I'm doing, to just be able to go to work each and every day. Because most of my customers are in the town of Ulster. I like to support the town. I like the town I live in. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention and say thank you for looking at it. And I appreciate all that you guys can do for me.
Could you make an appointment with Mr. Tutt to come see us next week?
Thank you. I forgot.
Actually, you should be giving it to the town clerk so she can put it in the record. Are there any other individuals here tonight, sir? Thank you.
Good evening, Town Board and Supervisor. My name is Sean Van Steenberg. I am the owner of ANS All Seasonal Landscaping LLC. I am one of the landscapers on Doris Lane regarding a concern in my neighborhood due to my business. I have lived in the neighborhood for the past 20 years and have owned my property on Doris Lane 10 years as of this October. I have owned my business for 15 years and have been running it out of my property for the past 10 years since I have owned it. It is to my understanding that a few neighbors are concerned with me running my business out of my property. In the past 2 weeks, I have gone around to almost all the neighborhood residents with a petition, which I have just handed all of you guys regarding this matter, and I have obtained 50+ signatures supporting my business. The neighbors that signed this petition stated they do not have any issues with my business nor my stuff on my property, and that I keep my property well maintained, clean, and do not disturb them with any noise. As a landscaper and property owner, I am continually looking for ways to amplify and appeal my property as I take pride in ownership of my property. I would like to finish off by thanking everyone in this room. As you can see, we have lots of people here tonight who showed up and took the time out of their busy schedule to come show their support for me. I am hopeful that everyone will take this matter into consideration and will continue to allow me to run my business on my property. Thank you.
I would ask that you call Mr. Tutt and schedule an appointment for late next week to come in and we'll talk about it. Thank you. Are there any other individuals here tonight who wish to comment on any topic for the town of Ulster Town Board? This is a body that is much larger in the number of attendees tonight than we're used to having, but you're much quieter. We're so used to don't poke the door. Okay. May I have a motion to adjourn? All those in favor? Aye, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next meeting is in 2 weeks. Have a great August.